from Marie at Messy M Creations. Just hi Jane, hope you are well. Did a little bit of pre-preparation. Oh, that shadow's going to annoy me if it's not going to annoy you. I'm going to hopefully still have enough light when I turn that off. Yes, I think we're all right. Oh no, I've still got a shadow. Oh, because the shadow needs to catch up, Marie. That shadow will hopefully disappear when the light goes off. We're a few seconds behind. So, you can see I've started doing some kind of preparation. Now what I did, because I currently lost my card base, I've been playing with these sort of DL style cards and they're quite interesting. So I thought, let's use part of the one sheet wonders. So so that I knew kind of where that mark was, I've actually scored this piece of paper. Hi Carol. So I have scored it so that I kind of know where that DL is, so that because I need the pattern to go kind of more across the whole thing, which is why I've put the season's greetings in there as well. And then I've done a couple of score lines just to play around with. So because I'm going to do this DL card, let's do a little bit more playing around this. So I had the darker green, I picked Just Jade, which I wasn't sure would be quite right for pine, but oh, my picture's gone all pixelated. Hopefully that's just on my screen and not on yours. Hopefully you're seeing it okay. Anyway, Just Jade I think is rather a good colour for little pine needle. So I'm now just, thinking about creating that DL card, just adding some in. I'm also using a bit of mint macaron on the paler cards. I kind of wanted to do slightly different colours, so I also chose for my pine cones Flirty Flamingo and Terracotta Tile. Hi Jeanette, hope you are well. Oh, my picture sorted itself out, so hopefully yours has, or hopefully yours never went. So I just thought, let's just play around with colour a bit more and just see. The last time I did this I kind of did fairly traditional colours, so I just thought I would play, and I have used basic grey for these little blobs. So I'm using the stamps from my stamp set that's disappeared. Honestly, I was doing so well. So organised today. Now I had my stamp set a little while ago. Now it's disappeared. Anyway, it's this stamp set. Oh, it's right in front of my nose. Peaceful Boughs. So all of these are from this single stamp set, Peaceful Boughs, which I think's got a myriad of opportunities, but is rather nice on a one sheet wonder. So as I say, I'm just literally using those little grey dots just to add a little bit of je ne sais quoi, because I don't. I'm going to use this bigger one with the Just Jade to come in on this side. Some of it I want to go into the next card as well. So as I say, I don't normally, but I did score it just because I've not done DL cards before, so I was with a one sheet wonder, so I kind of wanted to know that what I was creating was kind of going to work, if that makes sense. Because obviously it's quite different where you place the stamps. I did also do a few grey, of the basic grey, little pine things as well, which I thought were rather nice. But yeah, I'm kind of definitely in a non-Christmassy colour zone. Yes, I had a moment there I was doing my pine cones the wrong way up. They do nestle in the branches, don't they? That's a bit of a brain freeze, isn't it, when you can't even remember how a pine cone settles. So I think we'll just do a few more little dots. And then before I do the others, I might just create the DL card just to see. It might start a new addiction for me. DL cards have definitely, which I blame Karen Spreckley for, from the Let's Get Creative weekend. So I'm just going to shut those ink pads so that we don't get into an inky mess at any point. Let's get those out of the way. And for a DL card, I literally cut a square of card 20 centimetres by 20 centimetres, and that is what it is, isn't it? Just going to double check myself there now. I think it's 20 by 20. 20, but yeah, 20 by 20, and I've scored at 10 centimetres. So this piece of card, I literally just scored, put it in the right way around. I literally scored it at 10 centimetres because I thought. So I'm going to pop that piece aside. We'll finish that bit in a little while. You can see now I've got a kind of whole across piece. Now obviously I don't want that to sit on the card. I want to do some layering. So what colours should we be layering, do you think? Because so I would like to see, I think, 2 colours of card underneath that. So has anybody got any thoughts on what combination they might like to see? Flirty Flamingo's not doing it for me. So we could do the 2 greens. Mint Macaron and Just Jade. I'm not convinced by the Flirty Flamingo. We could do the Terracotta Tile and Just Jade. Or could bring the grey into the mix. I feel the grey is very Christmassy myself. So the 2 greens or the terracotta tile and the green. What do you think? Just wait for the video to play catch up. And see what you think. JJTT. Terracotta tile and Just Jade. Thank you, Jeanette. So what I'm going to then do is do a ½ centimetre down. So we know the card is 20 by 10. So I'm going to, let's see, I'm going to do this one. So this is our base. So we're going to do 9.5. By 19.5. Cuts that little bit off. Then in the terracotta tile, I am doing 9 by 19, which then leaves my stamped piece requiring to be, and I'm going to take the bulk of it off that side, so I need this to be 18.5, remembering not to throw that bit away because we might be able to use it for something. And I think I might take a ½ centimetre off the top. Oh, didn't do that very straight, did I? Oh dear, that's just messed that right up. Let's do a little bit more than the ½ centimetre. That'll teach me to not do that straight. So this would have been, oh, it's ended up at, whew, it ended up by 8.5 by accident. Due to some die cutting, but that's fine. Nothing is a disaster, everything is repairable. So literally then we just take some tape. Oh, it's a new one. Just roll it on. And I sense this may start a new addiction. And did anybody watch that video I posted from Ruth Trice from YouTube with the box, the self-closing little box? Oh my god, it's lush. I sense I'm going, oh, well, actually doesn't matter which way up that goes at this precise moment in time. I feel like I'm going to buy presents that fit the boxes. Everybody gets a gift from me. It will have to fit in one of those boxes. But oh, it's just stunning. She's amazing. So there we go. And currently this is a new trend in card sizes. So Stampin' Up don't actually make available to us a suitable sized envelope. Oh no, no. So I just bought some craft brown envelopes because I think brown goes with absolutely everything. So that is a DL card in a one sheet wonder. Which I think is rather fab. So that's one. Then we'll finish off this little bit. As I say, I've done a little bit of scoring on there already. Because I kind of, what I've created here is kind of a falling effect. So I was thinking the season's greeting could maybe go, which I've now lost that, honestly. Oh, I had every best intention. I've lost my season's greeting stamp. Oh, it's under there. Which I might do in Just Jade. See, we're doing quite well. We're being quite organised. So I know this is not entirely in the spirit of a one sheet wonder. However, we are allowed to do things differently if we want to. And that's just the sort of mood I'm in. Just feeling rebellious. So I'm just going to add some more little pine bits around that. So that's the darker one. I'll do some, actually that's the smaller of them as well, so I'm going to do the lighter one in that as well. Stamp off some of that and then pop them around the place, kind of just as however you fancy. And then some pine cones. Which I definitely think there should be maybe one coming out of that S. One going over that way. Maybe one coming from there. We need a little one up here. And then we'll do some of the slightly smaller ones in the terracotta tile. Fill that little gap there, and maybe the edge of one coming over there, and maybe one popping out that end. Just inked that, so I'm going to get rid of the ink that's on that one just in that little section. And then I want some little grey dots. So any sort of dot or any kind of small pattern is just quite nice for filling in some of those little voids. It's not that we don't want any white space, I just think it's quite nice to just snuggle a little bit around those. Maybe just a few up there. So again, very not in the spirit of like how I normally do a but that is at 11, so I'm going to cut that there. We'll see what happens with that bit in a little while, but you can see here I've ended up with a piece. Nothing stops us stamping on it afterwards, but you can see that. So more on a traditional, let's do that on a traditional card base, but also what I am thinking is, how about that, we could do a basic grey card base with a Flirty Flamingo mat, and then maybe do something with a bit of ribbon. Should we try that one with that one? So I'm going to do the card base this way round. So I am cutting at 14.9 and scoring at 10.5 to get my card base. You see, what I'm thinking is that will then fit, but we could do the Flirty Flamingo over the whole card. So my Flirty Flamingo will be 10 by 10 14.4. So I just essentially I work in centimetres and take off half a centimetre each time, because for me that works. You could do more or less, entirely up to you. This is just a guide to potentially maybe give you a little bit of inspiration to see what you could create. So that layer is going on there. So this, I think I'm going to cut to exactly the same width as that mat, so that it's going to sit with that either side. So that needs to measure 10, which I'm going to take all off the top because I did the greeting right at the bottom. And again, that little bit that we've got as an offcut we can keep. Possibly because I've already cut it down, it's not going to fit. It's going to be too narrow for the inside of that card. However, oh, these all might be. Nothing stops us. See, I think they're quite nice on the inside of the card, but nothing stops us putting it so that there's a little gap. Oh, quite liking that. Should we try that? You gotta love it when full flow is in. You're hearing the thought process, or is that pretty scary? Oh gosh, it's Marie's thought process when she's crafting. Honestly, and you think I'm talking to you. I talk like this whenever I'm crafting. I'm having a right old conversation with myself. It just helps. It makes me feel better if you're there watching me. Then I feel like I am actually talking with some purpose. So you can see kind of what I'm thinking is maybe just having a little bit of ribbon going across so that it maybe pops out either side. So that's Terracotta Tile and Just Jade. Maybe some sort of crossage going on. Just adds. So we could, how about putting that in the middle of the card instead of off to one side. That in the middle. Bit of ribbon going out at an angle. By designated ribbon scissors. Cleaned and sharpened. One of my colleagues, makes the most amazing dangly for scissors, which I think I may have to invest in.
There. Who's that for? Do me asking?
Oh yes, sorry, yes, it's.
Hello there. Thank you. Sorry about that. Marie's on the call. Thanks very much, young man. Look after yourself.
Sorry, I ordered some candles last night from a local supplier and said they could deliver whenever was convenient. And they said, "Oh, this evening," and I was like, I wasn't expecting it to be while I was still on my life. So sorry about that. Trying to use as many local suppliers for Christmas presents as I possibly can. Because what a year it has been. And it sounds like it was a little lad that delivered, because I was wondering why the knocker didn't go. It's probably not. It's probably too small to reach the knocker. Bless him. So there we go. And because that ribbon is going right across the card, I haven't, and underneath the paper, I haven't particularly worried about how I've taped it. So I've just run the tape alongside. Doesn't have to be kind of either in or outside of it. And then the key thing is to get that lined up in the middle, and hopefully I've cut my ribbons so that it works. Just adds a little bit of extra colour, so there we go, numero deux. Oops. And then actually, now I've got some, let's get that tape off my thingy. I've lost me, there we go. So we've got this little bit that I think lends itself to being that way up. So add some, I think we could probably do something similar with that bit. So we'll do the same with that bit, and then what am I going to do with this bit? Should we do another DL? With I'll do the greeting in, actually I might do the greeting in basic grey. Let's try that. Let's see what happens. So I'm going to put greeting about there. Kind of the advantage of putting the greeting first is you can then kind of stamp around it, but as I say, it's not in the true spirit of creating a one sheet wonder. However, that is the joy of crafting, is we can all find our own way and do our own thing. So, you know, if you're not massively confident with a one sheet wonder and doing a whole sheet and then creating the cards, there's absolutely no reason why you can't chop it up a little bit as you're going along, as I've done today. Because I haven't had any of my, oh dear, you know sometimes I kind of do go through that, oh dear, it's gone a bit peaked hong, as they say. Haven't experienced that today at all, working this way, so it's a revelation for me, and perhaps might help inspire somebody else to just give it a go. Get those stamps out, get the inks out, and go for it. And I find, you know, you can do a one sheet wonder and get half your stamp collection out. But I do quite like doing it if I do focus on one set, because the one set all sort of coordinates, and I think, you know, Stampin' Up, what I absolutely love about Stampin' Up is that absolutely everything coordinates so beautifully. So you can pick your cardstock and your respective inks and get playing. And if you ever do create anything, do post it on my page so I can see what you've created. Would be lovely to see. Not going to put anything more on that, I don't think. I'll just leave that, I just inked it, but we'll got another one to do, so I'll just go back in with some of my basic grey. And there's no reason we can't add dimensionals onto these cards as well. Well, I think you're right. I'm not a gardener either, but I think they're both upside down. I can't decide. I need to go and find a pine tree and see how the pines grow. The actual pine cones, I don't know whether they grow up out of the pine or down. I'll remember not to send you this one, Jeanette. I don't want you sitting there all over Christmas worrying about your pine cones being the wrong way up. it's just all a bit, I think the season's greetings might be a bit wonky as well, but hey. But no, every time I was stamping one, I kept thinking it was the, look, I'm worried about our mindsets always matching. You think of the same things as I do. So we've got another. I should officially check what size DL actually is, because I haven't actually officially checked, and for me it just works. In that oh, should we have a bit of mint macaron? I don't think that's played a part yet, has it? Yeah, so, but why would the seeds stay in? See, that's nature being illogical in my mind. I thought nature wanted to spread its seed, as it were. Or does it rely on the wind? So if we've got one vote for them being the right way up and one vote for them being the wrong way up. I've got a whole desk here and I can't. So doing my sizing down again. So we're 20 for the card, so 19.5. And 10 and 10, so 9.5. So this one we will do at 9. Oh, Jane, I saw the pigeon. Saw the pigeon on the advert. Sorry, Jane's Billy's pigeon. Jane's Billy's pigeon. Which advert is it, Jane? You'll have to remind me, because I can't remember which TV advert that. Oh no, it's the John Lewis one, isn't it? So the John Lewis advert, the pigeon at the beginning of it. See, look, it's a complete rounded education coming on alive with me. You know now, the pigeon from the John Lewis advert. Yes, John Lewis. Well, or is it? I think it's a combined John Lewis and Waitrose, isn't it? I don't think Waitrose has got a separate one. But yes, we did. I can't think what we were watching that we actually saw an advert. And I said to David, "There's Billy's pigeon." And he's like, "What are you talking about, Marie?" Much as you ladies do while I'm on a live, when you're learning all these fascinating things. Jane has famous animals in her family that get used for all sorts. So there we go, just popping all those layers together. Oops, focus, Marie, on what you're doing. Card base, not on gluey bits, and pop that onto the, oh, I'm loving these DLs. And then again, you know, that bit, see, I think because of the way the pine cones are going, I quite like it along the bottom like that. So don't waste any bits if you do make a one sheet wonder. Save all your bits. So I'm just leaving a few millimetres around on each side, just so that then it fits. So there we go. So, oh, there you go, Blueberry the pigeon. See, now you know where the John Lewis pigeon came from. Like I say, it's the whole education. And I've created 3 cards in the process. So 2 of the DLs and 1 of a standard sort of C6, do we call that one, I think. So there we go. Hopefully you've had a rounded information about, we now know about pine cones, we know about Billy's pigeon blueberry, and creating one sheet wonders, and not perhaps doing it the traditional way if a whole piece of paper scares you. So hopefully you've enjoyed this evening, and I look forward to, if I bring that down a bit, you'll be able to see that even better. So yes, thank you very much. Thank you, Carol. Appreciate that. And I look forward to seeing you on Friday. Take care of yourselves. See you soon. Stay safe. Bye bye.